Almost threw it. Let's talk about the X37 adapter for your SX-70 folding cameras. I've already talked about this in the past, did a video on it last year. I freaking love this thing, it's super fun. I can attach a lot of cool 37mm lenses to this, such as wide angle lenses, telephoto lenses, and fisheye lenses, ultra wide. So freaking cool. But there's one thing I just got recently from a friend of mine, and that's this guy right here. This is a 12x telephoto lens. I'm gonna put this on my SX-70 and see what happens. Let's dive into it.
You know the type of guy that was a jock in high school but ended up becoming a huge nerd? You know, someone that's not afraid to make a fool of themselves on the internet. And someone that likes to shoot Polaroid a little too much. Did I say huge nerd? You know, just an ordinary, everyday guy. Well, that's me. I'm just another Chris.
So not too long ago, I was traveling in Ohio for a job, and I teased this video in a video not too long ago. And so now I'm gonna talk about this because it's so freaking cool. I had a blast with this. Before we get started, shout out to my good buddy Caleb for hooking me up with this lens. It's pretty sweet, I really appreciate it. But he was letting me know he was having some problems with this and he was wishing me the best luck. And to see if I could even do anything. And I'm always up for a challenge. He was telling me that when he was using it, he couldn't get sharp photos out of this thing. So I figured out a way to make it work. And I'm pretty excited, I'm gonna share it with you. So if you find one of these, I guess these are kind of hard to find. If I can find some stuff, I'll leave it in the description below. Works perfectly for adapter. That's what the 37 means in the name. You can thread it on here, and then now this goes on to your Polaroid SX-70 folding cameras, SLR 680 even. But you definitely want to turn off autofocus with this, trust me. But this isn't being marketed towards Polaroid instant photography film cameras at all. No, it's actually for your phone. Yeah, as a clip system, you thread this onto the clip and it goes onto your phone. I didn't mess with that at all. Plastic, but it seems pretty durable. I think it's actual glass too. It feels like it's glass. It's got, you know, decent weight. It's not heavy by any means, but it definitely feels durable, like it's not just gonna break. But here's something really cool about this. It has manual focus. Yeah, you can actually look through this and use it as binoculars if you really wanted to. But the minimum focus distance is also pretty far away. It doesn't really matter when you're shooting something that's, you know, a mile away. But what really drew me to this was, can you get depth of field in your Polaroid shots? Basically use this as a portrait lens. Let's find out. I think the minimum focus on this is like 10 feet. So Caleb was telling me he was having a problem getting things in focus or tack sharp. The camera would move just enough to where the picture would become out a little blurry. And if you've ever used a telephoto lens, you probably know. Looking through this thing, even trying to hold it still in your hand, there's movement. The SX-70 camera, there's a mirror inside that flips up and comes down, and there's a lot of movement in there. Like every time you take a photo, just the mirror alone would blur the photo. So I'm stabilizing the lens and the camera, and it worked. It totally worked. This particular setup that I did was, that arm isn't extended like to its max, so basically if it's a little too close to the front of the camera, it'll catch as it ejects the photo and, you know, bend the photo, and that's not good. You can get separation in the development, and that did happen a couple of times. I can't get the photo out. It's stuck. It was just enough room too. I can't bend it. I don't want to bend it. All right, I gotta take a clamp off.
I gotta reposition everything.
Yeah. The 12x telephoto lens, 4K HD.
You're taking HD Polaroids? That's amazing, dude.
4K HD. Don't know how that works. It's like they just slap on like terminology. A Polaroid SX-70 camera, yeah, it doesn't have any sort of stabilization. So you wanna make sure you lock that thing off when you use it. I will throw out one little caveat. I was able to shoot some handheld. It's not a run and gun thing. It's a process. Like take it all apart and like strategically place it back in your pockets and camera bag. I think for the next shot, I'll try and handhold it. I think I could do it. Just handheld a shot. It's a little shaky. So hopefully it comes out okay. It's looked pretty good. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous looking, let's just say. And I like it. It's so cool. Not heavy enough to where it's really front heavy, so it doesn't droop down and cause any sort of distortion. When I was using the little arm mount to stabilize it, instead of having it clamp, which I originally had that way, and that was causing problems. So I just had it resting in there so it was stable, and that was on my switch pod, and everything was locked off, and it worked out really, really well. When you look through this thing, like right now, I just see pitch blackness. The barrel length of this lens is really far from where it's going to be taking pictures. So when you're looking through here, it's a lot darker because it's very narrow field of view. So a lot of light has to enter the lens. You need light with this, like a ton of light. And so that's where you can't really hand hold the camera because it's gonna be a little bit slower shutter. But when you use one, if you have one, shoot it on a super sunny day, or I guess use flash sync of some kind, then that would probably help you, but that's pretty advanced. It's already slow enough as it is to kind of get things working on there, but that'd be a really fun challenge. Maybe I'll do that in the future too. It doesn't block the sensor, so it'll still read as normal. So also keep that in mind. The light metering and versus what's actually coming through the lens isn't quite gonna match. So you have to compensate for that. Experimentation is needed. That's really what I'm getting at. I have to keep the shutter open a little bit longer than normal, even though it's a bright, sunny day. Let's see about getting Dave out there.
I can't see this guy because we don't have an ND filter.
No ND filter. It's just white.
Where'd you get the Dora slide? That's sweet. That's a sweet camera gear.
Official. In the store, just on the chris.com/Dora. Finding Dory, I mean. I never saw Finding Dory. Finding Nemo was great. I want to get this level. I'm hoping in the shot, because it looks like the bokeh or background blur or depth of field is spiraled. It's all swirled, right? I'm hoping like it comes out kind of like that in the actual final shot. Look at the spiral of the background.
Oh yeah, dude.
Isn't that cool?
Right. It's so cool. It has a swirly thing.
It does, right? It's cool.
You know the type of guy that gets swirls in his photos?
3, 2, 1.
Worth noting though, I have an SX-70 camera, but it's been converted to shoot 600 natively. It has a good fast shutter speed. I haven't tested it with an SX-70 camera, which is a much slower speed camera. So that could definitely be a problem utilizing this lens. So just a little side note. The results I got from this lens though was mind-blowing. Honestly, it's so cool. You can actually get depth of field in your instant photography photos, aka Polaroid photos. Like, it's like, I was a little blown away. And you get this cool swirl effect in the image. It just looks unique and different, and it definitely stands out over the rest. I think it's pretty freaking sweet. What are you guys' thoughts? But remember, if you're using one of these on a sonar camera, like I said earlier, make sure you turn this into manual focus. Yes, very important, because autofocus will not work on this telephoto lens whatsoever. I don't know, it's kind of flimsy. Getting serious now. The wind is blowing this tripod.
It's an emergency tripod.
I'll stand like right here. All right, I hope that it's still in frame. Ready? Here we go. Oh, it's moving. I don't know. We got Jim Morrison.
Who's that?
The doors. He's not even painted on a door.
Hey, there's not even a door on this wall. This would be ideal for a garage, right? Wouldn't it be cool to paint this mural on a storage garage with a bunch of doors?
Yeah. This opportunity. It was pretty windy that day as well. I couldn't quite keep that janky tripod that Dave let me use when we were shooting this a little stable enough for this one really long shot that I was trying to get. But it's still kind of cool to see that this does work. You can get some good photos with it. Great proof of concept for some other things that I'll be doing with it. I got some other ideas, and I think they'll be pretty cool. And just for fun, when I was in Ohio, I met up with Dave, friend of the channel. He has this crazy wide. I need to ask him what the diameter is. I'm not sure, but it is a ultra fisheye, super duper, crazy, super awesome lens. That's the official name. I really want one, but check this shot out. I want to pair it with round frames by Polaroid, and man, that'd be so cool. But this thing, you have to be like inches away to get it in focus. But the effect is so ridiculous. It is so warped, it is so wide. But that lens is a 37mm thread, so that fits on the X37. I'll leave links to this in the description too. There's a guy on Etsy that sells them. I can never remember his name, but it's a really good product. I highly recommend it, and no, he isn't sponsoring me by any means. I just think it's really cool and fun. So if you guys have any cool things that you are using or things I should check out, let me know in the comments below. I want to check it out. Do you want some of these photos shipped to your door monthly? You know, I have a monthly print club. Yeah, I don't really talk about it that much. It's kind of exclusive. But if you guys want to join that, there's a link in the description below. Every single month I send you a cool signed print of my photos. So if you're into this sort of thing, help support the channel and you get something cool shipped to your door. Consider checking it out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Now, get out there, make some art.